We'll welcome you to our show today, and of course, we're looking forward to it. And of course, Forrest, tell us about it, man. What's been going on?
Well, first of all, I want to welcome you back to the studio, and you're looking real good.
I'm looking spiffy, a little spiffy this morning. Is that right?
Spiffy, and he only wearing a hat because he's got a couple of scrapes up there that the doctors put on.
I don't really have all my hair back, so I'm laid back and looking country club looking.
Right, but it's good, so good to see you this morning. And a couple of things I wanted to mention. First of all, good morning. And today is National Spouses Day.
All right.
It's also National Seed Swap Day if you grow seeds, and it's National Peanut Brittle Day.
Yeah.
And it's National Green Juice Day on January the 26th, 2021. So that's kind of neat.
My wife told me this morning that if I wore this hat, I would be able to see more of my face. I don't know if a baseball hat or a gotcha hat would look good.
Is that what you call that, a gotcha hat?
That's what I call it.
Yeah. Well, hats don't look good on my big old head. I've got one of them Hoss Cartwright heads, one of them big old Texas gallon.
Well, and of course, I like the look. And hope you just bear with me this morning. Brought to you by Max Federal Credit Union, and appreciate all of our sponsors, and appreciate you so much when I was gone, and you filling in for me and doing a great job. I watch you every day, and it means a lot to me to have a partner like you that you can depend on, and I appreciate you so much, and appreciate you out there bearing with us a little bit on our show. Of course, Forrest does a good job, and he can handle it himself. But at the same time, we appreciate you being a part of our show too. Bird Drugs, of course, on the square in downtown Troy, and a lot of people don't realize it, but Joe had the same surgery I had.
Yes, sir. And I saw him just.
How did he look?
He looks good. I just waved from a distance. I call him Brother Joe.
Yeah.
And Brother Joe, and that's one of my favorite names. That was my daddy's first name, but he's up and at it.
I tell you, Joe is one of the fine people in this community. I tell you, I just love him to death, and he sort of guided me through it because he had the same surgery I did, and he sort of guided me through it. You don't want, let's just say this, you don't want a surgery like this unless you really want a surgery
like that.
Because it was not pretty, I promise you. But at the same time, hopefully, when I get my motor attached, that's what I call it, my motor attached. We'll find out exactly what it does for you, and I'll tell you. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hi. Morning. How are y'all?
Mike Amos calling from whereabouts?
Grayson Beach, Florida.
Is it raining down there this morning?
Yeah, I was supposed to say it's a little rainy down here this morning. It's been pretty the last couple of days, so around 65 and sunny. So
have a lot of people been down there this week?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people from Canada and Michigan and Wisconsin and Michigan and places like that. A lot of snowbirds down here.
Yeah, a lot of snowbirds, and that's amazing how they keep that economy going, like with the Canadians and with the college students, and then with the yuppies and those type people. It's amazing how that little community that there yours, Mike, keeps the ball rolling in Northwest Florida, don't it?
Yeah, I mean every restaurant on 30A on Saturday and Sunday was packed down here. And then they do some early bird specials and stuff like that for the old geezers from Canada.
The old geezers, is that what you call them?
As it relates to
I was an old geezer just yesterday.
Oh, man.
But I will say this.
Were you and Mom out there playing shuffleboard? I know y'all.
Oh, yeah. I'm not yet playing shuffleboard, but I am just proud to be here. What did old Minnie Pearl said? I'm just proud to be here
tomorrow you need to get you a little tag to go on your hat.
Yeah,
Let it
no,
hang
exactly. This is a Payne Stewart look. I like Payne Stewart was my favorite golfer.
Right. The as it relates to the weather, last night about 10:30 in Fultondale, Alabama, there was a tornado that went through Fultondale, and it killed one person and injured several others. It's right off of I-65.
Oh, yeah.
And the high school there at Fultondale received a lot of damage.
You called on that high school, didn't you, Mike? When you were in the Sporting Goods business?
For Fultondale, no. A few places around there, though.
Yeah, there were a couple of businesses that were demolished, but anyway, there's going to be a little bit of weather today. I don't know to what degree, but there's some thunderstorms, I think, coming this afternoon. But anyway.
Mike, tell us about the Red Bar. How's it doing? Is it back to the peak season already?
I mean, it really hadn't missed the beat. I mean, it's packed every night, and they have folks coming up and down, the Funiac Street where I live, and see people walking down there. I mean, the Taringo, the other restaurant bar across the street from that does really well too.
Did it have? I've never eaten there. Did it have good food?
Yeah, I mean, they've got good shrimp po' boys and stuff like that. I mean, their burgers are pretty good. They actually opened a place next to it they own that's called Big Wheel Pizza, and they have really good pizza and wings there now too. So it's kind of a good little option to have. But yeah, Braga's doing great and great as well. That's our favorite place to go, Italian restaurant. So I mean, it's still a lot of people down here. It never ends.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's great, and
a lot of live music down here as well. So I mean, if you ever wanted to hear a band again,
what's some of the names of the bands that you hear down there, Mike?
Well, I mean, most of them are just local bands, but I'm just saying, a lot of places, don't really have a lot of live music.
Greg Clement's not down there anymore, is it?
No, they're not playing. Kyle, the lead singer, he's a charter boat captain. He's got a boat that goes out.
I didn't realize that. He's my buddy. I'll get on that boat one day. He's a good buddy of mine.
He goes fishing out on Great Beach every day. There's like 12 to 14 boats to go out on the beach. He's one of those. And then the other mandolin player teaches at Seaside School, which is from 5th grade to 12th grade. There's actually a school at Seaside that a lot of kids are.
What makes the Red Bar, or at least what separates the Red Bar from the rest of the places down there? It just does an overwhelming business.
Well, I mean, the food is good and the atmosphere is good. And
what kind of food do they specialize in?
I mean, they got grouper fingers. You like those? Have those for lunch.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. They give you a lot of grouper on that grouper plate there. Yeah.
We like the my sandwiches. They have smoked tuna dip. It's really good. Seafood gumbo is really good at lunch. And then, at dinner night they have the blackened grouper, the crab cakes. They have the panade chicken that gives you about 2 huge chicken breasts over mashed potatoes, and then they just got a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's a big place too. You can get a lot of people in there.
Forrest, one day me and you will get in the car and drive down there and visit with Mike and eat at the Red Bar. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, years ago, Jody and Abby and I ate there, and when it was, you couldn't hardly maneuver. They took us to a back room, and it was like a maze going through there.
Yeah. Exactly, and of course, again, the big Greek is a good friend of yours, isn't he, Mike?
Yeah, he's from Belgium, Ollie.
And he came down here, and he and his daddy,
Ollie Petit.
And he came down here, and he and his daddy hit the road running. And I tell you, he had a great restaurant.
His dad has a restaurant too on 98 called Louie Louie.
Yeah.
So there's 2 restaurants. And then back in the day, one of my favorites was 331. They owned right there.
Oh yeah, I love that 331. I wish they were still back there.
Well, they got two restaurants out there now. The Bay, Jim Shirley that owns Great Southern at Seaside opened the Bay, and it's really popular. They have live music on weekends, and then across from there is now a pizza place where 331 used to be.
Okay, go ahead, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm on Zoom if they want to put me on camera this morning. I took a shower and everything.
Well, I didn't shave, but, I don't know. The way I sort of like it.
I shaved yesterday.
I hadn't shaved lately. I didn't shave. And it's sort of fun not to get up and have to shave,
Your son hadn't shaved in about 25 years.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah.
He shaved his off. Now he's growing it back.
Yeah, that's right. And but it's sort of fun to not have to shave. Let's say that. And of course, everybody's doing well today. It is the
26th of January.
26th of January, and everybody's excited about this weekend. A lot of basketball coming to Troy. Tell us about it.
All right. Well, first of all, last night, Pike Liberal Arts girls defeated Abbeville Christian 52-17. The boys continued their winning ways. They won 76-42, and they will host Heritage Christian today on the campus of Pike Liberal Arts.
Are they gonna play it during the day?
They start about 4 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And congratulations to the Pike Liberal JV team. They won the state championship in JV basketball. They defeated Lee Scott by about 26, and then they defeated Glenwood. Parker Adams was all tournament, and Payne Stewart was the most. Payne Jeffcoat.
Yeah.
Payne Jeffcoat was an MVP of the JV tournament.
Well, you know what?
Billy's son.
That's right. He comes from it right. Billy was a good basketball player, and later on coach. And I know Billy got a kick out of that.
I'm sure. And Billy helps them. On the varsity level coaching. But tonight, Charles Sanderson will travel to Pike County to play the Bulldogs, and no fans will be allowed in the stadium. You can follow that game on the National Federation of High School Sports Network.
And Steve, do we have that at all? Are you familiar with that?
I think you have to.
Is that something on the computer you have to stream?
I believe, you have to stream it. It's live stream on the
nice, yeah.
National. It's NFHS Network.
Yeah, exactly.
And Goshen this Thursday will play at Opp, and they will play at New Brockton on Friday. And men's basketball for Troy University men's, they will host Appalachian State this Friday at 6, and again on Saturday. And the men right now are 1-5. We're struggling 1-5 in the conference, 6-9 overall.
It's crazy after that though. After they play Appalachian State, after that game's over on Saturday, that means they'll play Appalachian State 4 times
in a row
this season. 4 times you play a team.
In a row. Is that right? In a row?
No, not in a row. They played Coastal this past weekend. But
okay.
I don't understand this scheduling. Why did they have to do it like this? They just play one side, the Eastern Division. You can't play any Western teams. It's just awful.
Well,
as a basketball coach, you got to feel like this is just awful to be coaching in the Sun Belt and having to play these teams twice.
Is the Sun Belt only league that's doing it, or do other leagues doing it?
I don't know. I'd have to look and see. I want to say Conference USA is doing the same thing, but all the Power 5 schools are just doing it just like they've always, regular schedules. So,
right. Michael, what will
it's just horrible.
Do we know how the tournament format will be for the Sun Belt?
It's supposed to be played in Pensacola, Florida. I know that.
Well, that's good. That's convenient.
Will all of them get invited, or just the top?
I don't know how that'll work. I don't know if you'll have a game at home to decide. If you get a chance to go to Pensacola, or they'll allow all the teams.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you could maybe allow all the teams. I would hope.
Do we know where the women tournament will be?
Troy had a great start. Yeah, the women will be in Pensacola too.
As well. The women are 9-4 overall, 5-1 in the conference, and they will travel to play. Is it Louisiana? The same team, Appalachian State. They'll go to Appalachian State.
Yeah.
They'll travel.
Yeah, I mean, when Troy had leads in both of those games against Coastal Carolina this past weekend, you're up by 7 in the first game and then 11 in the second game, and you can't win either one of those games. That's not good.
Well, the women certainly are rocking and rolling, and tonight Auburn will host Missouri at 8, and Alabama will host the Wildcats of Kentucky.
Yeah, on TV.
And, that should be on TV. That's tonight at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's on ESPN.
In Tuscaloosa, so that'd be a great game to watch.
On this laid-back Tuesday.
8th in the country now.
8th in the country. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Of course, they're 8-0 in the conference. Is that right?
That's right.
And I tell you, this what a day a coach makes, man. What do you? This guy, I never even heard of him before he came here.
He was at Buffalo.
At Buffalo.
And we talked about it yesterday. His athletic director at Buffalo is the athletic director at the University of Tennessee now.
Uh-huh.
So, and have we heard, is anything about the Tennessee football opening? Any kind of rumors flying around?
I mean, I heard they're close to making a hire, but they had mentioned something on Buff Bomb when I was listening to them yesterday that they were hoping to make a hire by Wednesday. So I guess we'll see what happens. You got the athletic director, and I guess he's trying to figure out, who would be the fit. I wonder if he could get Frost to leave Nebraska, who used to be his coach at Central Florida. Frost, if I was Frost, I'd leave Nebraska in a heartbeat and go to Tennessee.
You know, Tennessee had a lot of tradition, and they've come on hard times. I don't know what it's going to take to fix it. I reckon you got to beat Alabama and Florida and people like that.
What about, you think T. Martin has a shot?
I don't know. He's never been a head coach. He's been a coordinator at several places, but I don't know. I don't know if they would go that direction or not.
Did T. Martin get fired?
No.
That's what I want to know.
No, he did not.
And how about our kid from a young man from Tallahassee? Played at Troy.
He's still there.
He's still there.
Still there.
Well, who are the guys that got in trouble?
The guys that handed out McDonald's bags with money are the ones that got fired.
McDonald's bags with money.
A total of 10 people to include the head coach, but I don't know all the circumstances.
Well, thank goodness our guys weren't there. And of course, T. Martin played at Tennessee and was a very good quarterback and
national champion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that Peyton Manning didn't win a national championship at Tennessee, but T. Martin did.
Yeah. Let me tell you right now what I do. I'd pay Peyton Manning $10 million to be my coach. I would pay Peyton Manning $10 million a year to be my coach. Because anything he touches, he's going to win at it.
He'd have his nephew Arch Manning playing for him.
Arch Manning is going to go to Tennessee?
No, we just.
I'm just saying if he was the head coach, he would.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Arch Manning's still in college?
No,
in high school?
He's a sophomore. Isn't he just a sophomore?
In high school?
Right, and there's speculation as to where he might go. He might go to Ole Miss, Tennessee, who knows?
So he's already good. He's already built a reputation.
Oh, yeah, he can sling it like a... He can sling it like...
This is Archie's grandson, and, is this Archie's grandson?
It's his grandson. What's his dad's name? The one that was hurt.
Cooper's
son.
Cooper.
Yeah.
And he's the one that didn't play college quarterback, and of course he was a great
I was
great
reading
player
an article
himself with that.
yesterday. There's a kid, running back. He's a two-time All-State, and he's just a sophomore from Alexandria. His name's Ronnie Royal III, and he's transferred to Gus Shores High School. And he rushed for 1,900 yards last year, so that means he's going to play for Mark Husbeth, Kenny Edenfield, and Vic Coney.
They already are recruiting now. Is that right?
That's in Coleman.
Where's Alexandria?
Anniston in Calhoun County.
Anniston in Calhoun County, yeah.
I looked it up, too.
This kid's leaving Anniston to go to Gus Shores. That's amazing.
He had 30 touchdowns last year running the ball. He's 5'11", 175. He caught 16 passes for 314 yards for 4 more touchdowns. So he scored 34 touchdowns last year. Almost 2,000 yards rushing.
He's going to be the class of 2024.
But you know what? He could go earlier than that if he could get his grades, all of his. I think you have to have a certain number of hours. Is that right? Academic hours. If you went as a junior.
I mean, he's just a sophomore.
Yeah, I know it. But I have seen like the quarterback Bennett. Is that right, Bennett? That went from South Carolina, went to South Carolina.
Jake
Bentley, and he's going to be the quarterback at South Alabama. Is that right?
Looks like it. You know, that's crazy that Brian Blackman coached him in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, how in the world did he not come to Troy for a year?
Yeah, but I don't think he's that good. To tell you the truth, I don't. He's from Opelika High School.
He started South Carolina for 2 years, and then you started Utah last year.
Yeah.
He must be pretty good.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Well, there's another job opening in Dothan at North Side Methodist. Their football coach, Jason Hurst, resigned after 3 years, at 13 and 20, so that's close.
Yeah.
But,
their fight song's going to be, you got to shop around. Gotta shop around.
Mike, what is that? We didn't talk about this Friday.
Would Charles Henderson ever consider Kenny Keith as their head coach?
You know what? I bet they would. But I tell you, what do you hear at Charles Henderson?
Well, there's some outside speculation with the ties that Troy University with Coach Rigby, that her husband may be in the mix. I mean, that's my educated guess.
And of course he's coaching at Eufaula now, and already been very successful at Eufaula.
And I've got some information on him here in a few minutes, but Chuck Dunn.
A lot of people that would like the job. Yeah, Chuck Dunn.
Chuck Dunn would be a good one. Yeah.
Adam Helms would be a good one.
Adam Helms, yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. As far as if they're trying to bring back a former coach that had coached before, or a former player, or somebody with roots from Troy, Alabama. I don't know how it's all going to work.
I tell you what, I haven't thought of Helms, but Helms would be a good one, and he's got a lot of family here. I would think he would love to come back to Troy.
Well, if you go to, what about? I'm gonna throw this out, Kenny Edenfield.
Yeah, that's right. He's
going to be the
double dipping, and he's double dipping.
Well, he's the offensive coordinator at Gulf Shores.
Yeah.
Head coach at Charles Henderson's.
That's
wife
right.
from Troy. I'm just throwing out names.
You're exactly right.
What about John Jacobs? He want to come on back? He's at Houston Academy now.
Now what he's doing is double dipping.
He's double dipping. I'm just kidding around.
What we're talking about, of course, ladies and gentlemen, when we say double dipping, that means he's going to a private school, and which is what would you say a private school guy would be not being paid by the state, he's paid by the school.
If I'm imagining a lot of head coaches at the bigger private schools could be making between 50 to 70,000.
Yeah.
But a little bit on Coach Rigby. I pulled this up. He's been in coaching for 27 years. He was 5 years at Elba, the 2015 state champion, and was runner-up the year before. He was at Tate High School in Florida for 6 years. That's in Cantonment, Florida. And they were in dire shape when he took over. But he finished 22-39. He's coached in Louisiana, Mississippi. He was offensive line coach at Tabor College in Kansas. He was at Jackson State, Holmes Community College, the University of West Florida. That's where he graduated from.
Yeah.
And one of his quotes this past fall when they were going to play Central Phoenix City, and I think they beat them, it said, his quote was, "To be the man, you've got to beat the man."
Yeah, Jamie DeBose, is that right?
But it's going to be interesting to see.
You know who made that quote is the great Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah. The great Ric Flair. Well, I tell you what, I know him well, and I know what makes him kick. He's a winner, and he's a guy that could come in and probably hit the ground running.
Well, it's like Chuck Dunn. Who knows who's the possibility? I'm sure they have had a boo-koodles of applicants, and when it closes, I'm not sure, but I'm sure they'll narrow it down to about 3 to 5, and then go from there. Now, who's on the search committee? I'm not sure.
Adam Hams brings a great bloodline in here because not only was his dad a great coach, and Adam was a fine player and all that, but let me tell you this: there was none better than Richard Bassett. And of course, Richard Bassett was a great running back in the late 60s and early 70s. And of course, he lived right across the street from me in Troy. Mm-hmm. Of course, Richard was a good player at Troy and a great high school player, great player.
Well, here's one thing that I want to interject. The middle school, their head football coach, Quay Moncrief, has taken a job, I believe, in the Montgomery area.
Yeah.
So not only do we need a high school football coach, we need a middle school football coach.
That's right, build a program.
And depending on the setup, you can hire the right person. I believe I'd try to hire my head football coach first, and then and work it where you can hire a quality teacher / coach. For the sake of the academia and the whole. How it all relates to one another.
We got a phone call waiting, or a phone call open right now. If you want to call in and give us some information, I lost another good friend,
Big Bug D's.
Yeah, Big Bug D's. Man, I tell you, what a great friend he was, and great person and a great player, and we're gonna miss him an awful lot. He was a great man and a great father and parent, and we appreciate him so much as a person, not only as a football player, and we lost him to a stroke. He won the virus, but we lost him to a stroke, and our prayers and our thoughts go out to his family.
I got a cousin that's going to have an operation this morning. He's got some issues going on, and his operation will take place in Montgomery, and that's my cousin Ted West, and want to wish him a good recovery. But Mike, what about Mark Stoops? It will not be taking the linebacker job at Texas.
Yeah, it sounds like some Texas boosters got involved and didn't want Stoops to be coaching linebackers in Texas. That's a shame, because he had already, talked to Saban and all the athletic director and everybody at the University of Alabama, and kind of said his goodbyes and planning on looking for a house in Austin. And last minute, Sarkisian had to call him back and tell him it wasn't going to work out. So, Stoops is still an analyst at the University of Alabama and has turned down a lot of opportunities to be a defense coordinator at other places. So, tough situation for him and his family, to say the least.
Well, my guess.
A lot of bad blood between Texas and Oklahoma still.
Oh, yeah, it sure is. It goes to show you. You're right.
Well, I think Texas you may awake the sleeping giant. But anyway, of course, Alabama travels to Austin next year to play Texas in Austin.
Next year?
The next year, because we open up with Miami.
Yeah.
So that's on the horizon to kind of see, hey, what will that game be like with all the former Alabama assistants that are there? And
I got a feeling Alabama's fixing to go on another streak. Do we have the schedule? How many in a row are they gonna win, Mike, before they get beat?
I don't know. Defensively, though, they're going to be lights out next year. I think they're going to be really good. Offense, Bryce Young at quarterback. You lose Najee Harris. You lose Waddle and Smith, but you got Mitchie coming back and a lot of really good young receivers. I don't see I don't see anybody beating Alabama except maybe at A&M is going to be a really tough game next year.
At A&M, and then of course Auburn.
I think Miami will be I don't think Miami's in Alabama's league yet to beat Alabama.
So it looks like Alabama could be on at least a 20-game winning streak or a 25-game winning streak.
Yeah, very possible. Yeah.
And they're going to be great. There's no question about it.
I mean, Auburn's going to be interesting to see with Hartson. You know, he's a quarterback coach, and see what he does with Nix. You know, I'll assume Bo Nix will still be the starting quarterback at Auburn, but I guess you never know. I don't know if
I can't believe it if they did not sign a good one. I noticed that you had them listed other day, Forrest. Who have they got other than Nix, you know?
At quarterback, I'm not real sure. They lost one quarterback that's entered in the transfer portal, but I really didn't know his name. But he's hired two more analysts, Bodie Reeder, he was a quarterback at Eastern Illinois, who's going to Auburn, and a guy named Darren Usher is going to be the director of recruiting. He was on staff with Coach, is it Harspin? For 7 seasons,
that's right.
Parson. And another thing I just read, Clemson starting linebacker Mike Jones Jr. has entered the transfer portal as a graduate, and he's got 3 years of eligibility, but he's just graduated. So it's interesting. He's from Lebanon, Tennessee, and he graduated from the IMG Academy in Florida, but he was a starter at Clemson, but he's entering the transfer portal.
Oh, man.
Where he's going, I don't know where he's going.
Doug Marone's official now at Alabama as offensive line coach. Marone used to be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills, was the head coach at Syracuse as well. So now he's got Bill O'Brien, that was a head coach of the Texans this year, and now Marone, who is the Jacksonville Jaguars coach this year. So he's had a lot of experience.
Pro guys.
In Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. Pro guys. Yeah, it's a different game, though. I think the pro game is a different game.
Well, LSU hired a guy named Devontae Jones as their defensive coordinator. He was coaching at the Vikings. He's also coached the Bengals, the Dolphins, at Wisconsin, Hawaii, Morgan State, UCLA. But I think he's from that area of Louisiana, so that may help him with recruiting and all that. But do you think, as many players as Alabama gets from LSU and Texas, I wonder how that's going to affect recruiting? But Alabama's still number one at the top of the list, and the 5th of February is right around the corner. Is it the 5th of February signing day?
Yeah,
the last day?
Yeah,
so
last week.
Yeah, that's the old one. Yeah.
Auburn with only 12 signees, they're hitting the trail.
I think this might be a good thing. That they might. Everybody else is loaded up already. They don't have many scholarships left. I think Auburn's got several scholarships left.
I think
they might catch somebody out there that is just waiting to see how many people are going to make a fuss over them. A lot of kids want to they want people to make a fuss over them,
Well, you look at Auburn's staff, and we talked about it the other day. They have a tremendous staff that are just. I mean, I'm so excited for Zach Etheridge. I just don't know what to say. To grow up in Troy, play at Auburn, had to go through the ordeal he had to with his neck, return another year, win a national championship, tries to go in pro, hurts his knee. Then he goes around the country and working as a defensive back coach, and Mama called, so he's coming back to Auburn. And he's about 30, probably 30 or 32 years old.
And I imagine, Mike, that he was a good friend of the coach that we lost from Troy. I imagine they were very good friends. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if him and Cornelius were friends or not. I mean, they're around the same age. Etheridge went to Lafayette, coached at Lafayette, and he coached at Houston. He had been around different programs, but this is his first Power 5 job, and it's also Williams' first Power 5 job. It's going to make Troy baseball starts in 24 days, 10 hours, 24 minutes, and 33 seconds They'll open the season against Youngstown State.
Youngstown State. They're going to play in Troy?
Yeah, we mentioned this. They picked up a series in Tallahassee, 3-game series against Florida State, Dad.
That's great.
You're off the show.
I want to be there. I want to be there.
That'd be a fun trip for anybody to take down to Tallahassee.
I'm gonna wait until they give me a shot.
That's April 30th through the 2nd of May. So
that's gonna be fun.
End of May.
I'll get Forrest to drive me down there, Mike. Get Forrest to drive me down there. See, I got me a Forrest.
That's not a bad drive.
Forrest has gotten to be a very loyal cab driver.
I'll tell you what, it's getting really dark out down here in Great Beach all of a sudden. It got pitch black dark. I don't know if we got bad weather or not coming through.
Pitch black dark in Great Beach. Tell me about it.
You know, and the ladies softball program starts the 12th, 13th, and 14th of February. That's right around the corner as well, and they will have the Trojan Classic softball tournament. The teams will be announced later. The next week they have another tournament here in Troy, but according to the report I read, a pair of Southeastern Conference teams will be in those tournaments. So we don't know who that is yet.
Let me say this. Out of every team we have, golf team, tennis team, whatever, every team we have, I think our most prolific team is our women's softball team. We've got 3 of the best pitchers in the country at Troy. 3 of the very best pitchers, and that's what it takes. Have you heard that? Have you heard that their pitchers are that good?
And one of them grew up right down the road in Brantley, Alabama.
That's right.
The Johnson
Brantley,
girl.
Alabama, exactly.
I can't think of her first name, but that's...
Troy softball is as good as it can get. I'm telling you, y'all out there, because and it's a lot of fun to go watch.
I like the fast pitch.
Me too. It makes it a lot better game.
I was going to mention this. The biggest news about baseball this year is the Sun Belt Conference Championships will be at Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery. So how great is that for Troy?
That's another Johnny Williams coup right there. And of course, he got him to land there.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
The women of Troy University are hosting the Sun Belt Conference here in softball.
Wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
they are. Yes, they are.
That's great.
We're hosting.
I'd like to go to Gibbs Street and maybe charge for some parking for that. I might drive up there and charge about.
Yeah, you're right. Want to mention Circle Insurance, and of course Sam and all the great folks down there. One of the outstanding insurers in the country is Circle Insurance in Ozark. Noble Manor for assisted living, ladies and gentlemen. Noble Manor is the place to go, and also Pike Tree Service. And he did a lot of work for me during the recent storm we had, and I haven't found out where the stump is yet.
That's neat.
And boy, he does a great job.
I tell you what, y'all did have some damage though. My goodness, y'all's backyard looks something different.
We had I had to remove.
About 12 or 14?
Well, I had to remove several big trees, and it just came right through that alley there and hit Charles Saunders across the street. I want to say hello to Charles Saunders. I was watching. Let me tell you this. I'm a military guy. I like to watch war movies. The best war movie I've ever seen, was was the group the Four Brothers. Have you ever seen it?
Band of Brothers?
The Band of Brothers. The Band of Brothers is the best military movie I've ever seen. It's about 8 or 10 hours long. Right. They run it on the same day, but it is by far the best military movie I've ever seen, and I recommend anybody to go ahead and go get it at or dial in somewhere where you can get it. Have you seen it? You ever seen it?
It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
There was another great movie. It was the O'Sullivan brothers, where there were 4 brothers that went off to World War II, and that's one of the older movies.
Yeah. They've got a new movie coming out too with Steven Spielberg is the and it's coming out. Tom Hanks is involved with it, and it's another good one. Well, I like Saving Private Ryan. I thought it was a good one.
Right.
That's a great movie. Yeah.
But I tell you what, this.
Y'all want to take our first break?
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll be right back to more of Today in LA.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Daddy, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Say hey.
Mike.
All right, let's see. All right, back to our show, and of course we just saw Mary Prater, Amos, getting her camera shot this morning, and we appreciate. We're glad that she's up and at 'em this morning.
Yeah, she sleeps in. She's one of my. I have two little girls. Mary Prater's 4, and Millie's 3, and Millie jumps on top of her head every morning.
She's up and at 'em, isn't she? Millie, good morning to you too.
My goal in life now is to teach one of my daughters how to turn on remote control so they can go downstairs and continue to sleep.
All right, we're having fun today on Today in LA, brought to you by our good friends at Horn Beverage. And I tell you, Donna and Booty, they do a super job. They're great supporters of Troy University sports, and we appreciate them so much. Joe, he's opened up already, serving bacon already this morning at Bird Drugs. Of course, Joe, they do a super job with breakfast every morning, and we love to go by there and eat. I think we'll try to run by there this morning and try to get us a little something to eat. Yes, I'm laid back this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I look like one of the guys at the barbershop I saw yesterday. He didn't know whether he wanted to get a haircut or he wanted to keep it like it was. And I think he turned out to wait until the day, I think, to get a haircut. Of course, we're
how's Raymond Leopard doing?
I don't know. Do you know, Forrest?
From what I understand, he might get to come home early this week. And
oh, again tomorrow, man. Yeah. So it's serious business, isn't it?
No, he's fine.
He's doing better. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's having open heart surgery.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we sure wish so much.
Yeah, we definitely want to pray for him.
Love and affection for that man. I tell you what, they don't come no better than Raymond does. Of course, Raymond, comes on this show periodically, and we just love him to death, and he's like a brother, and I just hope that he can get well soon.
There needs to be a book about Raymond Ledford, and another
That's
one about Michael Amos, and the stories that y'all have known, and you may have to change the names to protect the innocent.
And if you want to name a godfather of anything, Raymond was the godfather of the Alabama Baptist Children's Home. I mean, he's the guy that they all go to when they need something, and he helps them as much as he can.
Well, he's affectionately known by his family as Big Daddy.
Yeah, Big Daddy. Yeah, and he's known to me as Raymond. At Raymond's Style Shop on South Frontage Street. We hope he'll get back well again so he can come be on the show. Of course,
y'all gonna have to find a way that you are forced to go out to Popeye's fried chicken, and make them a sponsor, because I still, I told this story on the show about a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I was in Troy that I finally had the fried chicken sandwich from Popeye's. And it was the greatest chicken sandwich I'd ever had in my life. And I'm still, I'm trying to figure out a location of one down here so I can go have it again. That's how good the chicken sandwich is. The Popeye's fried chicken. I mean, I'd heard about the commercials, I'd seen this and that, and I still can't get over it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. That's great.
Well, I've tasted a couple of them. They are pretty good. But on some COVID information that I pulled off. According to the report I read this morning, in the Troy Messenger, I bought a subscription to the Troy Messenger online and to the Dothan Eagle so I can read the articles.
Oh, that's
Because if you're not, if you can click on it, but if you're not a member or a subscriber, you can't read the articles except maybe one day a week.
Yeah.
But anyway, according to the report, as of yesterday, there have been 700 vaccines in Pike County.
Wait a minute now.
700 vaccines.
We've given out 700 vaccines.
Vaccines in Pike County, the first vaccine.
Yeah.
And that's mainly to people who are 75 years or older or health care professionals.
Yeah.
All right. In a 10-county area, they have given out 64,000 vaccines in this southeastern part of Alabama.
Central Alabama.
Of southeastern Alabama. That's according to Corey Kirkland, who's the administrator of the Alabama Department of Public Health for the Southeastern District. Right now, his quote was, "We do not have enough of the vaccine for all the 75 citizens and up, and health care workers. They do not have enough of the vaccines at this time."
Boy, isn't that pathetic?
But you can call two numbers. Starting in February, they're going to start giving vaccines on 3 days. They're giving them now, I'm not sure what day, but on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, you could call 566-2860, 566-2860. This is if you're 75 years or older. Or you can dial 1-866. This is a toll-free number, 1-866-566-5333, 5333.
All right, that's not hard to remember.
All right, now, Governor Ivey and Dr. Scott Harris, they're trying to develop a website where you can go onto a website and schedule an appointment to get your vaccine.
Oh, man.
And that, not only will you be able to call, but you can go to a website. They're hoping to have that established in the month of February. Okay, as of yesterday, new cases in Alabama, 1,839 new cases of COVID.
New cases, gosh.
All right.
Just in one day, 1,800.
Since yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Okay, the vaccines, over 100,000 have been made in Alabama. Okay. To date, there have been 443,000, a little over 443,000 people who have contacted the virus, In Alabama, it says 6,662 deaths in Alabama, a little over 6,600. And that's from the CDC statistics that have been given.
Well, I tell you, that 433,000. I don't like those percentages, man. That's way up there.
But according,
we talk about it all the time, though. I mean, worldwide, it's 99.4%.
I know, but I don't know what percentage this would be. I would think this would be way up there, though, 433,000.
The hospital is dropping. The number of people being hospital is starting to drop. Okay, and last week, this past week, they gave a little over 100,000 vaccines. That's up from 59,000 the week before.
Yeah.
And this is stats that I got from the Troy Messenger and Alabama.com this morning. So, we're still.
And I'll mention this: Publix down here is giving the vaccine. You have to have an appointment, and DeSantis originally opened it up to snowbirds and anybody that wanted to have the shot that was 65 and older. But now you have to own property in the state of Florida. You have to bring in bills, deeds, whatever you can, paperwork-wise, to show at Publix. But I do know that, people from the state of Alabama have been getting the vaccine down here if you have proof of ownership.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, it's going to start being...
That's 65, though. That's 10 years younger than 75. So you can be 65, and if you own any kind of property, pay any kind of bills down in the state of Florida, you can get the vaccine at Publix down there.
Here's my opinion. Whenever you start having to go for your second shot, and you still have people who have not gotten your first shot, that's going to be the backlog, because you got people who need the second shot.
Yeah, that's right.
And people who've never gotten the first shot. So soon it's going to be, sure enough, a logistical problem, in my opinion, at local health departments. And so that's the reason why Publix, Walmart, I hear, is fixed to get in the mix of giving out shots. But we need more shot givers.
We got to move. You're right.
But it's.
Yeah, I mean, you can't risk it anymore. I mean, with the what's going on in Troy?
What's the difference in the first? What is the difference? And I've always wanted to know this. Is the difference in the first shot and the second shot? What is it the same? Is it the same shot or what?
The first shot is supposed to give you 50%. Effectiveness as far as not getting COVID.
Somebody told me it was more than that.
Well, I mean, now they said the Moderna shot, which is the one Gates came out with, is almost 80% after the first shot. After a couple of weeks, they say that.
All right. Well, is Gates different? Is he taking a different shot than we are?
Well, there's a Pfizer shot and there's a Moderna shot. So basically, they say after you have the second shot, almost immediately you're almost at 95%.
Oh boy!
It might take a week for it to kick in, but I mean, and then they say the Moderna shots, from what they've read, can last up to a year already, as far as being effective. So that's great to know that you wouldn't have to. It's going to basically be like the flu shot every year. You're going to have your flu shot, and you're going to have your COVID-19 shot every year.
They're going to start charging for it too, are they?
Well, I mean, it just depends if you got, health insurance and,
Well,
right now they're giving the vaccine, I think, to anybody if you have an appointment.
Well, CDC statistics as of yesterday, and this was reported by the CDC, the state of Alabama, 3.6% of the residents have received the vaccine.
That's not many.
3.6.
Oh boy!
And
we ought to get somebody from Troy Regional to call in and tell us.
Yeah, we will. And I tell you what, they have done a super job. The Troy Regional, great people, and Ron and Rick and all those great people there at Troy. But again, it's who's managing the thing, and right now I think Troy Regional Medical Center is doing a great job with what they've got, you know.
I want to mention over the weekend we lost an icon. You know, Dad, you've been hosting this show for 22, 23 years. We lost the great Larry King. I don't know how many nights of my life I spent up watching Larry King's show.
Exactly.
He was a great announcer, great interviewer. I mean, really.
He wasn't pretty. Hey, he wasn't pretty, but he was sure good. He sure wasn't pretty, but he wasn't good.
He was a guy that was on the air 60 years at least.
Yeah, I know it. He's really good.
87.
Was that from the COVID?
I think he.
He had a lot of medical issues over here, a lot of heart issues and stuff like that. But he was a great man. I watched almost every other night when something big was going on in America.
Yeah, well, like I watched Johnny Carson and Jack Parr or whatever his name was. My mother and I used to sit up when I'd come in from a long, weary night, stay up and watch the late night show, and it was always a lot of fun to enjoy that with my mom. And of course, Johnny Carson and Jack Parr and all those late night show guys.
Hey, Mike, I got the.
Larry King was married 8 times.
8?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. 8 times. And I told you he sure wasn't pretty. I reckon when the girls, when he ran out of money, they stopped going. He had to get another one.
Yeah, I don't think he ran out of money, though.
Yeah. I know it.
Yeah, Jim Rome, I listened to him a little bit yesterday. I was out and about, and I like listening to 96.3. It's a local station here at Troy, WTVF. They have a sports talk show, 96.3.
Yeah.
And Jim Rome is on there, and I try to listen to it if I'm on the road. Paul Feinbaum comes on from 3 to 6. So he was calling him the Lizard. Jim Rome was.
Yeah.
Larry King the Lizard, and talking about some things that they shared together, and but sometimes it's hard for me to listen to Jim Rome. He's so
Little
controversial.
Caesar is about as good a pizza as you're going to find anywhere in this world, and at the very best price. Little Caesar's Pizza on South Brunny Street. I mean, it's the best pizza for the money in town. Believe you me.
And about $6 a pizza.
Yeah,
It's like $6.
That's with extra meat.
Right.
You know, and I tell you, it's just a great pizza, and Steve is a great guy, and it's just I'm just so glad it's there. No telling how many times I've been riding down the road and say, "Well, I got to eat something, man. I got to pick up something for supper." Whoop, go right to Little
It's already
Caesar.
ready.
And it was hot and ready, and it's delicious, and it's very reasonably priced.
Yeah. When I eat pizza, I've got to have some soda water. I got to have a Coke. Tea doesn't do it. Water doesn't do it. I got to have that fizz when I eat pizza.
You don't partake of a adult beverage, do you?
Rarely.
I like that adult beverage. I like that adult beverage with that pizza. Yeah.
We got a Senior Bowl this week. We got a lot of SEC guys playing. Kadarius Toney, the great wide receiver out of Florida, will be playing in it. Joshua Bledsoe out of Missouri. Tyree Gillespie out of Missouri. Austin Watkins, the great wide receiver out of UAB, will play in the Senior Bowl. He was a really good player. You got Jamie Newman, the quarterback out of Wake Forest, Georgia, that sat the whole year out. He'll be playing in the Senior Bowl. It'll be interesting. The guy didn't play the whole year.
That's right.
You know how he'll look. You got Malik Herring out of Georgia, Mac Jones out of Alabama. You know, Jones right now, they're saying to go as early to the Patriots at number 15.
Oh, man.
That'd be unbelievable. He played for Belichick. Kellen Mond out of Texas A&M. Shy Smith out of South Carolina. DJ Daniel, cornerback out of Georgia. This guy was a great running back at Louisiana Lafayette. Elijah Mitchell. He'll be in the Senior Bowl. Colin Hill, he sat out at Mississippi State after about 4 or 5 games. He'll be playing in the Senior Bowl. Jordan Smith, the linebacker that transferred from Florida to UAB. The UAB's got 2 guys in the Senior Bowl. You got, let's see, on down the list, you got Monty Rice, linebacker out of Georgia, KJ Britt out of Auburn, Larry Roundtree, the real big physical running back in Missouri. Ronnie Cole from South Alabama, the linebacker, will be in the Senior Bowl.
He played at against Charles Henderson, didn't he?
Yeah, he played at Aniana.
Played at Aniana, yeah.
Dante Cornbread Brown, the great Alabama offensive lineman, will be
Cornbread.
playing in the Senior Bowl. Landon Dickerson will be there just for interviews and meeting with the coaches. Alex Leatherwood will be there. Trey Smith out of Tennessee. Ben Cleveland out of Georgia. Let's see who else we got on the list. You've got Devontae Smith that will be there just for interviews, meeting with coaches. Same thing with Trey Sermon, the Ohio State running back that got hurt. He'll be there as well. So that's kind of an idea of who's going to be down in the Senior Bowl this week.
Fine, we're straight up 8 o'clock. Let's take a break. We'll be back to more of Today in L.A.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Oh, man, if Rich Rodriguez, I mean, not to say that the Troy job's coming open, but if Rich Rodriguez wanted the Troy job, I'd jump and hire Rich Rodriguez.
Rich Rodriguez.
Look where he's been.
Yeah, no, you're right. He must be pretty good. No question. Yeah. I want to mention
West Virginia, Michigan, Arizona.
Hey, I've got an update on the Super Bowl connections with the state of Alabama. You know, the players, we already talked about the Buccaneers cornerback Carlton Davis played at Auburn. Also, the other cornerback, Jamel Dean, played at Auburn. The wide receiver for the wide receiver for the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill. The Buccaneers nose tackle, Steve McClendon. And also another nose tackle, Raheem Nunez Roches from Central of Phoenix City will be playing. But yesterday, Prince Tega Wanego from the Edgewood Academy, who played also at Auburn, he was released from the Kansas City practice squad yesterday, so he will not be going to
really?
And but there's some other connections.
That close to getting a Super Bowl ring, that's correct.
And he was released. But
he must have done something wrong.
But wide receiver John Franklin III from Auburn, he's on the injured list that will not be playing for the Buccaneers, and so as O.J. Howard. But the coaches... Here's the neat thing. Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians was the Alabama running back coach in 1981 and 1982.
Coach Bryant.
And he was the offense coordinator at Alabama in 1997. The chief.
We were at the game when he lost his job. He threw that screen pass.
Yeah, that's right.
System, and Martavius Houston just drilled him, and Alabama fumbled. All Alabama had to do was punt the ball away. And
that's right.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Chiefs defensive quality control coach Terry Braden is a graduate of Tuskegee. Buccaneers tight end coach Rick Christophel was an assistant coach at UAB from 1995 to 2006. And the Buccaneers wide receiver coach Kevin Garver was an offensive analyst at the University of Alabama from 2007 to 2015. So there's some connections at Alabama.
And one of them, Hill, could be the star of the game, and he went to Livingston. Then he went to West Alabama.
Yes, he's unbelievable.
He went to Oklahoma State and got some trouble at the school and got kicked out of.
But then he played at Livingston, didn't he?
Yeah, he only played 1 year.
Yeah,
he had some speed bumps personally too while he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. But
back to
he is unbelievable though. I mean, he is phenomenal. He reminds me of like a faster David Palmer.
Oh yeah, he is quick. And of course, we were talking about this earlier, but Terry Bowden hiring Rich Rodriguez is a good omen for the Louisiana Monroe. And Louisiana Monroe, you watch Terry Bowden. He'll land some good coaches. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if Tommy didn't come on with him.
Well, you got all that Duck Dynasty money there. All those guys living.
Yeah, that's right. That Duck Dynasty money. You're right.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably support the program pretty good.
Hope everybody's enjoying themselves this morning.
We've been over there. We've been over a few times to games. That's a hard place to win.
It is a hard place to win. In fact, if you look back over Troy's years of playing them, it's either very, very close game or they win. Usually, they've really played well against Troy. Of course, taking a look at Troy, Mike. I've seen a few coaching changes. Well, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Al Poe's coming in to coach the defensive backs.
And Mike, what that does, it not only he is a recruiting guru. He is one of the top recruiters in the country, and Troy's got him.
Well, I mean, he left West Virginia after a year up there with Neil Brown, and then got a job working for Auburn. I'm sure that was probably a dream job working in the SEC, but wasn't retained by Hartson. And it'll be interesting to see what Troy does. I know I've hired an offensive line coach out of Kansas, but that hadn't been released yet. I saw the name, I can't remember it, but wide receiver coach. I don't know what direction Troy will go in that direction as well. They've got to have that taken care of.
I would think there would be some good ones. The key is hiring guys that can recruit. If you can't recruit, you're in trouble.
Yeah, Lindsay might hire somebody, from one of his former staffs at Auburn or, Arizona State or Southern Miss.
Now, I saw yesterday, and I read yesterday that he still hasn't given up on Pugh. That he might bring Pugh back. Have you heard that?
That'd be interesting if they've already hired an offensive line coach from Kansas.
Yeah. Well, he might not have the same job, but he would still, that coordinator's job would still be open. But we don't. That's,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Then somebody else would move and coach wide receivers, and he would coach something else.
Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly what it is. But that he would have had a good relationship with him, and of course he is a good young coach.
Everybody knows that Lindsay calls the plays. So,
yeah, you're right.
I mean, you're an offense coordinator by title, I guess only.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Before long, we'll be looking at spring practice. It's not very far away.
I think I read where Auburn, Mike Bobo will call the plays, not the head coach.
Yeah.
I guess he's an offensive genius too.
Malzahn bringing in Tad Moore. She's talking about a coach that was at Clemson and was the hottest offensive coordinator in the country. He gets the SMU job, doesn't really win a whole lot there, and then he gets the Arkansas job. And I mean, you're talking about a guy's stock that has gone down. He was at Auburn 1 year. And Bo Nix just went backwards. Auburn's offense went backwards. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with his career.
What has he been fired, or is he still at
No, yeah,
Arkansas?
He got fired. With Malzahn's, he got fired with Malzahn's staff.
Okay, I got you. And I would take my money and run. I think I could watch football every Saturday and sitting back, relaxing, and eating a steak with it.
What time's the kickoff for the? It's going to be on the National Football League Network. The Senior Bowl, is that like at 1:30 in the afternoon this Saturday? Michael?
I'll have to look and see.
Yeah.
I've got it written down somewhere.
In the past, Bud Case and I used to go down to their practices every year, and we'd stay for the fish fry and they had the seafood feast, and
the practices,
always had a good time.
The practices are closed. It says they kick off at 1:30 Central Time on the National Football League Network. And when I researched it last week, you couldn't find any tickets on StubHub or Vivid Seats. So this Saturday, January the 30th, at 1:30, the Senior Bowl from Mobile, Alabama, that new stadium. That's a beautiful stadium.
Yeah, that's right. Sure is.
I've got the high school.
You got Alabama tonight, 15 at 6. I guess Alabama beat Kentucky by 20 a couple weeks ago.
At Kentucky, which surprised me.
Yeah, Alabama's a 7.5-point favorite, and then Auburn tonight will host Missouri in Auburn. That game will be on ESPN2 at 8 o'clock. Auburn's a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah. Well, both of those games going to be on TV. That's good.
Yeah.
Will Troy be on TV this weekend?
ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus will have the games this weekend.
Well, Michael, in the Max Prep's top 25 high school football rankings for the end of the year, Thompson High School out of Alabaster, Alabama, was ranked sixth in the country. IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida, was number 1. Grayson out of Loganville, Georgia, was number 2. But in the state of Texas, had 6 teams in the top 25. Florida had 5, and a total of about 3/4 of them or more are from the southeast part of the United States. The best
amazing.
High school teams in the country, according to Max Prep Sports.
Sure.
And they rank them based on, I guess.
And I want to say he's from Texas too. I want to say, I might be wrong.
What the owner of that show?
Max Prep.
Yeah, but
that's good information, and it's amazing what these new rules have made in college football, where he can play for one team one year and play for another team or his biggest rival the next year. You can just switch off anytime you want to.
Yeah, we talked about it too. These high school coaches are having a hard time finding places for some of their players to go. Some of their second tier players, I guess you'd say. But I guess they're going to up the number of scholarships you can give. I'm not sure how that works.
I tell you what, I don't know how close a relationship the running back from Hartford has with his coach, but I could see his coach getting a job out of the deal, because if he had a lot to say about where this kid went to school, I would think he could name he could become an assistant coach at that school.
If it's the same girl, there's a sensational basketball player down there named Stripling that scores about 25 or 30 points a game.
Jimbo's,
and she's tall and she can grab a rebound. I read something in the Dothan paper this morning that this Stripling girl for Geneva County or Geneva scored a ton of points. I think it was Geneva County. But
they've got a good program down there too.
They do. And,
I was going to mention Troy got a preferred walk-on. Didn't get offered a scholarship, but the Saraland quarterback Carson Green is going to be headed to Troy to play quarterback, try to get to the rotation as well.
And Saraland had a good program too, Mike.
Yeah, 6 foot, 200-pound quarterback. He completed 146 of 235 passes for 2,400 yards and 28 touchdowns this past season. He also ran for 212 yards for 11 TDs. He was honorable mention 6A All-State. And he is a preferred walk-on named Carson Green. So I guess that's another guy you got to throw in.
Yeah, that's right. You got to throw in. I don't know how many guys are still there. Have you already noticed any Troy quarterbacks that have gone on this?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to go to the transfer portal site and see how many guys Troy's got in it right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, Saraland is a good program, though. So, I mean, the kids, played a
real good program. Anytime you come out of that Mobile area, you played against some of the best teams in the country.
You know who the principal is at Saraland? Brent Harrison.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He's
Left
the principal.
Enterprise?
He's the principal, Brent Harrison.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Brent's been all over the place, hasn't he?
Well, see, he's from Enterprise, and he was principal at Enterprise High School.
He's at Saraland now. I think Saraland has their own school system. And,
yeah.
But that is it's a beautiful school. You can see it from the interstate. And
Brent, I've known Brent, ever since he played here at Troy, and he's been successful everywhere he's been.
Now, that's probably the best group of linemen Troy's had in a long time as a group. Him and McAnally was on there.
Yeah, that's right.
Rodney Jordan was on that team. They had like 4 or 5.
McAnally was you hit it on the nose. He could have played in the SEC any day.
Yeah, he's
really good player.
He lives in Luverne, Alabama. I believe he.
That's right.
Well, farm
got
credit,
insurance,
farm credit or something like that. But Brent was at one time the principal here at Charles Henderson.
Yeah. I was mentioned earlier, Alvin Dees, one of my good friends, passed away this week, the past week, and after a complication from a stroke. And our prayers and our thoughts go with him. He was a pulling guard, and he weighed about 200 pounds on that championship team, but he was really, really good. And that's back when they used to pull both guards every down. And of course, the funeral services will be announced later. But great man.
The one thing I want to remind everyone, if the Polar Bear Plunge will be this Saturday at the Troy Rec Department.
Tell me about it, man.
Yeah, and this is their second annual Polar Bear Plunge, and it benefits the Troy Pike County Habitat for Humanity organization. If you would like to dive, you can go onto their Facebook account, or you can contact Troy Bank and Trust, ask for Diana Lee, but she's one of the members of that organization. But at 9 o'clock, there's going to be a Polar Bear Plunge at the Rec Department.
On
Saturday morning at 9, outdoor pool. And then when you get out of the pool, you can run to or walk.
What do you do with the folks that have a heart attack?
Well, that's not going to happen. But they do have EMTs there in case somebody.
I'm just being facetious, but that's the way I would.
But they're going to socially distance, and if they have a lot of, depending on the number of divers that show up, and they said they've got a record number of people. And if you would like to be a corporate sponsor, go to that website. You can see how to do that. But what they'll do is they're going to surround the pool. They're going to socially distance. If you're a spectator, you got to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But once you dive in, that first wave will exit the pool. Then the next group will dive in.
Yeah.
And there's going to be warm towels available for you.
That's good, yeah.
And they're going to have hot coffee and hot chocolate.
Good.
Compliments of Village Coffee.
Yeah.
But that's a great.
I'm going to come out there and watch that.
Polar Bear Plunge.
The low Saturday mornings, Saturday mornings can be 36 degrees in Troy.
That's pretty cool. Mike, that.
I was out on the beach yesterday though, and I was out there with the girls, and they were picking up shells, and I looked over there to the left, and there's 2 people out there swimming. So I mean, people swim year round, especially
Yankees. Those guys, they don't know what cold weather is.
Well, I jumped.
I wonder how many snowbirds come through Troy on 231 this time of year.
Quite a bit. A lot of them going down to South Florida. This is the main route from to South Florida, from Chicago to Indianapolis at 231 south.
Yesterday,
or 65, I-65.
Yesterday about 11:40, I went to the car wash to wash my truck because I had to take something to Montgomery, return some tile, and I'd had my garden equipment back there, and I wanted a clean bed of my truck. The traffic was unbelievable.
It's unreal.
You couldn't hardly make the turn on 87.
You're exactly right.
It's whew.
And you know what? And people don't realize this. That's money. That's money. Because a large percentage of those folks going to stop and buy a hamburger or get some gas or whatever. You know, as much as we hate it, it's very economical for us.
Well, it allows you to have the things that we have here in Troy. We got, I mean, it's a just think about the quality of service we have in Troy as it relates to our garbage pickup, our electricity, or how our streets are clean and that kind of stuff. And it's a direct reflection.
Troy University's adding another sidewalk on Elm Street.
Yeah, they are.
Sidewalks on both sides of the road now.
Yeah.
They really do.
Have you been through the golf course, Michael, lately? It's a big old sidewalk as you walk through those.
Yeah. I drove through there not too long ago, actually. Dad was out there and took us around on the golf cart for a ride.
But you know, and of course, we're just glad we live in a place that we have a lot of good sports teams and rec teams, and Dan Smith needs to be coming on this show if we can get him on. He's always been real good about coming on our show. I'd like to find out how the economic impact of that kind of traffic coming through Troy.
Yes, sir.
What about Pike County Lake? They're going to open back up for us.
I'm not real sure. I'm not working there now, but I know here's what they're doing. They are building a dock. So
that's great.
If you're out there fishing on your boat, you can come dock your boat and come to get you a snack, go to the restroom or whatever. So once you launch, and you go fish for a little bit, if you need to take a break, you come in. There's a dock that you can dock on, and come in and.
I think I'll do that. I think I'll go out and brim fish one morning with a king pole.
But it's closed right now. I don't know when it's going to open.
Why would you ever go out there when you got a 40-acre lake?
Well, yeah, you're right. For some reason, everybody else's pond looks better than mine. For some reason.
What about Brundage Country Club? Are they open this time of year?
Yes, I'll be opening up right at 8:50, 9 o'clock this morning, and I'll first thing I'm going to do is gas up the golf carts, and depending on what the weather has done since we've been here this morning, I think we just had a good rain shower. Depending on the forecast, we're going to be open at 9, but that's subject to change depending on the weather. But
well, I tell you what, if you've got anything to do with it, I'm all for it, because you're one of the more dependable people I know, and they're going to have that golf course in good shape. I want to mention all these folks out here. A lot of these basketball games and so forth are not being televised, but these kids need the kind of recognition they deserve, and hopefully we'll be able to give it to them.
Right. Well, tonight, Pike Liberal Arts will play basketball at home, and Charles Henderson will travel to Pike County to play. And
that would be a good one to watch. I hate we can't see it.
You can see it live stream on NFHS live streaming. Yeah. It's the National Federation of High Schools. You can watch it there.
Charles Henderson is not even in school now.
No, Charles Henderson and Pike County schools are not in school right now. They're scheduled to start back next Monday.
Yeah.
And of course that is subject to change, but anyway, but they're allowing, extracurricular activities to go on, and I believe they're allowing now for baseball workouts to continue, and so you can go watch Pike Lib play tonight, or you can live stream Charles Henderson. Now Goshen plays away Thursday night. I believe they play at Opp.
Yeah.
And Goshen's first home game will be next Monday.
Who's Goshen's basketball coach?
I'm not real sure.
I tell you what, Charles Henderson's has got a good one. I tell you that.
Well, they had two good ones. Doug Branson.
I've heard him do color on some some ESPN Plus games. He's good on television.
Oh, is he? I tell you, he's a good coach.
And Dinesha Jones, and
the girls' coach is one of the best in the country.
Right. And they're both.
Yeah, I wonder how many trips she makes to Nashville to go watch her daughter play.
I know,
she's
exactly.
Well, I haven't looked up the stats lately, but she is having a wonderful,
that's great,
super year.
Yeah.
I think she's leading Belmont in scoring.
Hey, that's something.
And I'll try to research what they're doing, and I'll research.
She's a kid I think that could play in the SEC. I'm shocked she went to Belmont.
You know what? I used to always say the best free throw shooter in town was not anybody at Troy University, men's or women's basketball. He was over at the high school. She shot something like 90% from the free throw line.
I can see her now.
What's the Davenport girl doing at Georgia? She put up any numbers?
Not a whole lot right now. Of course, I haven't checked in the last couple of weeks, but she's playing.
The one thing that I thought she lacked a little bit was being real physical. I just didn't think. I just know in that league you got to be real physical.
Well,
yeah, you gotta get in the weight room, get strong.
That's right, you do, and you got to play play basketball like a boy.
Yeah.
Play hard, physical.
Tell me all the time. Coach Jones used to tell me they scrimmaged against boys.
Yeah, I know they did. Yeah,
they used to do that all the time.
And that was just my opinion. I just always felt like that she was not quite physical enough to play at the big time level.
She was so much taller and longer. It didn't really matter when she was in high school.
Great kid too. Yeah. Great kid.
Well, she's got a kid brother who's a sophomore.
Is he good too?
That program at
Mario Jr.
is just really phenomenal. I cannot believe that some of these bigger schools have never tried to get Coach Jones to leave.
And also this Mario, her brother.
Yeah, Mario Jr. He's a sophomore. He's about 6'4". He's at Pike Liberal Arts. Yeah, he's a good player.
He's at Pike Liberal Arts
too. He's transferred over there. Good kid. I saw him just the other.
He played football this year, though.
He was. I believe he was all-state in football as a defensive back. But
Dad, your return to the show was fast. You were 2 weeks off from everything. You want to thank sponsors?
Well, I do. Of course, Will Matthews has always been a strong sponsor of our show. Of course, also, let me tell you this, the best chicken in town is Goldfingers, by far. Goldfingers down in Troy on the bypass. And we appreciate all of our fans and our supporters. And, you just don't realize what it means to have loyal people supporting your program. And we appreciate you so much. And, again, I appreciate being back with my good friend Forrest Lee, and we are going to be running it again tomorrow. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hope everybody has a great day. And
remember tonight you got SEC basketball on the ESPN. You got Alabama at 6 against Kentucky. Alabama's undefeated. You got Auburn that's playing great basketball with Cooper now. He's a phenomenal guard.
He's not a big kid, but he can play.
They'll be there 1 year.
They'll play tonight against Missouri at 8 o'clock on ESPN too. So good basketball tonight.
Yeah, good basketball. We appreciate you, Mike, calling from the Zoom, and we appreciate Steve up top here. And how about it? You sign us off, Forrest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have a great day this Tuesday morning and afternoon. And for all our friends and family members out there who are under the weather, we're praying for you. We hope you the best. Our special thoughts to Mr. Raymond, and hang in there and get stronger. And again, thank you for joining us here in Today in LA with Mike Amos, his son Michael from Florida, and I'm Forrest Lee signing off on behalf of Mike.
Have a good day. See you tomorrow.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits,